Recording.
Hi, this is a tutorial on how to process package orders using Rollun's app. And I'll just take you through what I do after I pick up the orders from the warehouse. So what I do when I come in my office, I turn on my computer, turn on the Zebra printer, and then I go in and start printing. You'll have a list with the orders. That's the spreadsheet. And then here's your labels. So just to do it quickly, I've already printed them. You click on it and then you print, and it'll come up on your Zebra label maker. So I've got my two, today I've just got two, so I've got my two labels. And what I do is, according to my spreadsheet, which is right here, I always get my spreadsheet and I put them in alphabetical order. But something critical that I learned, when you have your spreadsheet out, you can look over at the ship class, and if there's any priority mail flat, I always take those and put them separate, and I always do my priority mail first. That way I don't mistakenly pack them as a first class pack. So I always find my priority mail pack, and I take that this isn't it, but I take that and I put it to the side, however many. Then I go and get my priority mail envelopes, and then I process those and put them away. Then I've got my other ones, first class pack, all in alphabetical order according to the spreadsheet. After I get my labels, all that done with what I just explained, then I open my box and I start checking my products off of my packing list that comes with every order. So this one's already packaged, getting ready to ship. But I go through it. Now sometimes you'll see you'll have two of the same products, but they won't be two on your order, on your how many you have. There'll be two separates, so keep that in mind. It's just something they do at the warehouse. Sometimes they'll have like a quantity of two with one product, or they'll have the same product and there's two, but it's just two different lines of it. So I check off my products and then I get ready to pack. Okay, and some more tips I can give you. When you're checking your orders, if you find a product is damaged while you're inspecting them and checking them off the list, contact Rollun immediately. That way, you know, they can direct you on what to do. Don't just ship a damaged product. Never, ever ship a damaged product. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes it happens. The other thing is, like last week I had, sometimes you'll get from the warehouse like three products, but they're two different packages. And so if that happens, I just refer to my spreadsheet and I see if they're going to be all three different orders, or if there's going to be two orders and of the same and one of the same. So to make it clear, one order was two of that product and one order was one. So what I did, just to avoid any confusion with the recipient of that order, the two packages that looked the same, I shipped those, and the one that looked different, I shipped it to the other one. That way, you know, there wasn't any confusion. Might not be, but it's just something I do. Okay, so for packaging, well, we'll go on the app real quick and I'll show you how to get in there. Okay, so here's the app. And what you do is you log on with your Google account, press that. Just be patient. Okay, and then you'll see this screen. So then those top 3 bars, you just hit that, and then hit the arrow, and then DS packaging, hit that. So depending on where you are and who your supplier is, you just tap that. So mine says it's already processed, which it is, but you'll see not processed for your order for that day. First thing I do is I click orders are picked up from the supplier. And then it'll say, are you sure? And you say yes. Well, then you hit the one that's not processed, and then it said start scanning. So then it'll come up in this DS packaging scan. And there's all your orders. And they're usually black. They're not green because they're green because I've already done this order. So you can scan, using the barcodes. So then this will come up, and there's your little bar. And usually it says they want to use your camera, and you say you allow it. And so because these are round, they tend to be round coming out of that zebra printer, I take something and lay it flat, and then you go over it and get that barcode in between that red square, and then it'll come up and the order will come up. Now, if you're doing it and it's not doing it for you and it's just, you're getting frustrated, what you can do is that blank rectangle, you just hit that, and then you can actually manually put in the number, the tracking number, in that box, and then you submit the label, push submit label, and then that order will come up. Okay? So you can do it either way. You can do it with the scanning, or you can do it with the manual. Now, if you ever get an error when you're scanning, you need to take a screenshot immediately. And then you can send that immediately or after your order and let them know you had problems with that label, because they need to know. So after you're all done, with your order, you'll see a check and all that. And so then it'll say no more labels. So you don't have any more labels. So you press no more labels. And then it says processed. So then you need to get out of here. So then you just back out, and then you'll come back to your supplier. You'll hit those 3 lines up there, and then it'll ask you log out. So then you log out. And then you just get out of there. But if you have any kind of problems, any kind of questions, immediately contact Rollun through the Slack, and they answer you rather quickly, and they'll guide you into what you need to do. So, for packing, what I do... And it gets easier the more you do it, because you recognize the products. If I see a product that's going to have like a liability, that it's going to be, it could be damaged, what I do is I take my bubble wrap. And like the most critical part of this part is obviously right here. So what I do is I put it up, then I'll put it down, and then when I wrap that critical part, I put this over it and then tape it, okay? Because, and here's another thing I do, a handy tip. I just put this here, however much I need, because this bubble wrap is just not the easy to... So you see, that's the thickest part of the packaging, the packing material on the most critical part. And here's another thing. So you won't waste labels, and like if you have a package and you say, oh, I'm going to use this one, and you put your label on it, and then you find out, oh, it doesn't fit. What I do is, I always, before I put the label on, I always check to see if it fits in the package first. And if it does, then it goes in. The other thing I do, on your packages, usually, there's a more flat side than this one. And what I found out is when I take it to my post office, the clerk sometimes has problem doing the tracking number on her machine if it's rounded, you know, if the product is like this as opposed to flat. So I always try to put the label on the flattest side of the packaging. And the other thing I do is, this is critical. So when you're on your app and you're processing, and it's not going to come up now because I've already done my... But when you're, either you scan it or you manually put your number in, it's going to come up with that order number. And it's going to show you everything. It's going to show you the first class packaging or the priority. It's going to show you everything you need to know. There's usually two numbers in there, like the product number or a Parts Unlimited number for me, and then you just you know what it is on here. So I always have this on the side. I have my packaged product, and then I look to make sure before I put that product in that package, to make sure that number matches that order. So on with the label, and just, I always do it this way, top, bottom, affix it, then the flat side down, in she goes. And then I always tape the opening. Better safe than sorry. And I don't care if it's any of these, whatever it is, I always tape the opening. Always. Don't just count on that working, because it's the most, the weakest part of all of these. So I always reinforce with tape. And also like these, for the littles, I always open it up first because it's just easier. So then that's ready to go. And what I do, my sweet husband got me this when Rite Aid closed down. I always have this behind me, next to me, and then I put my orders on there. And then you'll see, you know, it's packed, it's ready to go on to the next one. Now, if I have more orders that are bigger, then I switch to my handy dandy laundry basket. It's just light, it's easy. And I think, oh, and this is the other thing. So when you go to your post office, your postal clerk is your friend. Always, always treat them with kindness, respect, and consideration, because that's one of the hardest jobs in the United States. So they're your ally. Always treat them kindly and in a friendly manner. And after, when I check them in, then they give me the sheet or the receipt of all my products. Make sure before you leave there, while you're at the counter, count them. Because sometimes they make a mistake, and you just need to count them to make sure. Then when I go in the car, after leaving the facility, I always take a picture of this, and I shoot that picture to Rollun right there in the parking lot to let them know my orders have been shipped, everything's good. Then I come home, I take this and I staple it together, and that was my order. And then, you know, you can either before you leave for the post office, you can put your packages in on your spreadsheet, or not after you get home. But the other thing is too, your people at the warehouse, they're your allies too, and that's a highly stressful job. So always be courteous to them, friendly, and mistakes do happen sometimes, but like I said, that's a highly stressful job, and in my experience, from what I've seen, the turnover is really high. So just keep that in mind. You know, it's always better to be, when you come in contact with these people, to be a ray of sunshine instead of a dark cloud. So anyway, hope this helps. And you'll find out that the more you do it, you'll have your own way how you do things to make it easier and a better experience. So thanks so much.